Hey friends and family, this is SP News Nugget, and today we're doing an update. We have some updates on this case. We talked about this case last week. If you don't know what's going on, go back into some of my videos. You guys can find what happened to this newborn baby girl. But anyway, I will give you a little bit of a recap. The mother dropped this baby off at the daycare to come back, and they handed the mother a dead baby. And there's a little bit of controversy about it, but you guys, we're going to talk about it on the other side. First of all, I want to welcome you guys that are new subscribers. Thank you very much for becoming part of our friends and family. We do communicate in this channel, so down below there's a comment area. Make sure you comment something. Click on that bell for notifications so when we get all of these uploads, you get them also. If you're not new, please do so. Click on that subscription button. We would love to be a part of your family and your friends also. Now, if you don't like the video, you can give it a thumbs up or you can give it a thumbs down. We make these videos as we see them come in, you guys. So let's get on with Deani, because right now there are some things that are happening in this case, and we are going to follow this case also as the other one. So see me on the other side. Here we go. Okay, friends and family, we're talking about this case. It is some breaking news that's going on with it. Like I was explaining earlier, I will show you the recap clip for some of you guys that did not know what had happened. But then at the end of the clip, I will show you guys the update. So they have, and I'm just going to explain what we're going to see. So the young lady took her kids. See, and we did not know at the beginning that she had already 3 kids, so she actually dropped off 4 kids at this daycare. And we did find out that this daycare has opened up in several different names before with a lot of violations. Okay, so they have been investigating the whole situation, and they found out that the baby was dead at the daycare. So the daycare owner was like, no, we hand you the baby back. The baby was breathing. The baby was moving. No, the autopsy, they haven't came out with the full final report, but the doctor said, no, this baby been dead, you guys. The baby been dead, been cold. So let me show you guys what's going on. Here we go.
Big story here in Northeast Ohio. We've gotten to hear from the owner of a controversial Cleveland daycare.
In fact, she spoke with our Andrew Horansky, who now joins us live with what she had to say. Andrew, good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Russ. Despite what that infant's mother told us yesterday, Danielle Townsend insists the girl had been returned to her mother breathing, then died at the hospital. On Tuesday, 3-month-old Deani Griffin died, her mother claiming it happened at Nana's home daycare on the east side of Cleveland. That when she returned to pick her up, an otherwise healthy baby girl was dead, and no one bothered to call her or get help.
When we got to the hospital, they told me about how cold my daughter was, that she had been stopped breathing a long time ago.
Well, today, the daycare's owner, Danielle Townsend, tells a different story.
She was a preemie at that. The baby was already sick. We've been told the young girl, Taylor Bush, to take the baby to the doctor. She's a young, unfit parent, period. She died at the hospital. The young parent, the 22-year-old Taylor Bush, trying to say that the baby died, and Nana's home daycare.
What would you say to her? Have you talked to her since this?
No, she's scared to talk to me.
This afternoon, there was a police car outside her business, which is now under investigation. A place with a list of violations. Townsend says she's had death threats, even a break-in, believing they're tied to that little girl's death. We checked with the coroner again today on an official cause of death for that little girl. Russ and Betsy, nothing yet.
It's really heartbreaking. More to come on this story.
A Cleveland mother's grief.
Yeah, she says she took her daughter to a home daycare Tuesday morning, and her baby girl didn't survive the day.
Every time I get my daughter, hey, pretty, how you doing? I look now, I'm talking to her. She's not responding to me at all.
My goodness. Right now, Cleveland police are trying to get to the bottom of how that girl right there, less than 3 months old, lost her life.
The distraught mother spoke with 5 on Your Side investigator Sarah Buttison about little Diane's death today.
I'm still feeling like I just want to wake up and it be a dream.
Taylor Bush doesn't know how she will cope with losing her baby girl.
I had 3 boys and I had finally got my daughter. I honestly thought I couldn't have a girl. And I'm just broken. I'm broken.
Taylor says she dropped off her 4 children, including 2-month-old Deani, at Nana's Daycare in Cleveland Tuesday morning. When she picked her up that afternoon, Taylor says she immediately noticed her baby girl wasn't breathing. Frantic, she dialed 911.
They could not find a pulse for my daughter at all. I begged hospitals to keep working on her because they already pronounced her dead. I begged them to keep working on my baby.
Taylor says she trusted the daycare. After all, Taylor, Deani, and her 3 sons live upstairs from the Giddings Road business.
I asked God why, and I know I shouldn't question him, but I honestly can't help myself.
Especially since Deani had already struggled to survive. She was born March 28th, more than 2 months early.
My daughter was feisty. She was the prettiest, the beautiful. She was perfect to me. And I know people aren't perfect, but she was perfect. She was perfect.
Cleveland Daycare, where inspectors believe a 2-month-old girl died last week, is banned from taking care of kids.
And the state says it can't reopen until a full investigation into what happened wraps up. 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll has spent days digging into the daycare's problems. He's live in the tech center with the latest.
Late this afternoon, the state released its license suspension order. It spells out what investigators say they found after little Deani Griffin's death last week, and much of it contradicts what the daycare's owner told us Friday. This was Danielle Townsend Friday.
And guess what? I'm still open. Because I ain't did. I ain't do nothing to that baby.
The owner of Nana's home daycare insistent.
If my daycare was unfit, my daycare would have been closed.
And now it is. The state suspended Townsend's child care license after inspectors found the center, quote, created a serious risk to the health or safety of a child that resulted in a child's death. According to state records released late this afternoon, investigators with Children's Services accepted a complaint of abuse or neglect involving the center's owner or representative and an employee. Townsend told 5 on Your Side investigators she was away from the daycare last Tuesday when her sister noticed 2-month-old Deani Griffin was breathing, in her words, fast. Townsend said she tried contacting the infant's mother, but the call went to voicemail. She admitted never telling her sister to call 911. Minutes later, she says Deani's mother, Taylor Bush, picked her daughter up, then noticed she was not breathing. Here's what Townsend said Friday.
The baby was breathing when she gave Taylor Bush the baby. The baby was never dead. The baby was never cold. She was breathing fast.
But inspectors say that's not true. In the recommendation to suspend Townsend's license, inspectors wrote, during the on-site inspection, it was determined that the child did die while in the family care home. We tried asking Townsend about the allegations today, but there was no answer at the in-home daycare's door, and she never responded to a phone message. Just within the last hour, the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office released a statement saying the complete investigation of this case may take weeks before a final cause of death is available, adding there is no indication of suspicious circumstances at this time. The state says Townsend's license will remain suspended until the investigation wraps up or that license is revoked. Live in the Tech Center, I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll.
A Cleveland daycare is shut down less than a week after a 2-month-old girl is believed to have died in its care. News 5 obtained records saying the baby died while at Nana's home daycare. 5 on Your Side investigator Joe Paganakis is following up on today's developments. And Joe, so far the daycare owner is not responding to the state shutdown.
Danita, multiple calls to Townsend tonight, and calls made by 5 on Your Side investigators all day have not been returned, even though last Friday Townsend insisted the child was still breathing when she was returned to her mother.
The baby was never dead. The baby was never cold. She was breathing fast.
Danielle Townsend, the owner of Nana's Daycare, just 3 days ago, adamantly telling News 5 investigators 2-month-old Deani Griffin was safely returned to her mother, Taylor Bush, last Tuesday. But Taylor told 5 on Your Side investigators when she picked up her little girl, she found herself in an emergency situation.
I look now, I'm talking to her. She not responding to me at all. I immediately knock on the neighbor back on the door. And then when she opened the door, I'm screaming, can you help me?
And late today, state inspectors took action. The state suspending Townsend's child care license after inspectors found the Cleveland daycare, quote, created a serious risk to the health or safety of a child that resulted in the child's death. State records released late this afternoon also stated investigators with Children's Services accepted a complaint of abuse or neglect involving the center's owner or representative and an employee.
If my daycare was unfit, my daycare would have been closed.
On Friday, Townsend told 5 on Your Side investigators she was away from the daycare last Tuesday when her sister noticed 2-month-old Deanna Griffin was breathing, in her words, fast. Townsend said she tried contacting the infant's mother, but the call went to voicemail. She admitted never telling her sister to call 911. Minutes later, she says Deanna's mother, Taylor Bush, picked her up, then noticed she was not breathing. Meanwhile, Taylor described what happened after Deanna was rushed to the hospital.
When I got to the hospital, they said about how cold my daughter was. She had been stopped breathing a long time ago. They could not find a pulse for my daughter at all. I begged the hospital to keep working on her because they already pronounced her dead.
And the state says Nana's home daycare can't reopen until a full investigation into what happened is completed. So far, the medical examiner has not yet determined how the little girl died, but said there is no indication of suspicious circumstances at this time. Live in the tech center, I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Joe.
And I just want to clear my name as Danielle Townsend. The baby did not die in my care.
A daycare owner defends her business after a distraught mother was left grieving the loss of her infant daughter this week. Taylor Bush says she took 2-month-old Deani to an in-home daycare Tuesday morning, but by the end of the day, her daughter was dead.
They could not find a pulse for my daughter at all. I begged the hospital to keep working on her because they already pronounced her dead. I begged them to keep working on my baby.
News 5 uncovered several violations at Nana's home daycare in Cleveland as we asked the owner about them today. 5 on Your Side investigator Scott Knoll is in the newsroom. And Scott, you spoke with Danielle Townsend. What did she have to say about this?
Frank, that daycare owner says she only agreed to watch the little girl as a favor that day. She says Deani Griffin wasn't enrolled in Nana's home daycare. Because of that, she says the little girl did not have the required health forms on file at the daycare the day she died. Danielle Townsend insists her death Tuesday.
The baby was breathing when she gave Taylor Bush the baby. The baby was never dead. The baby was never cold. She was breathing fast.
Townsend says she doesn't know what happened from there. Her sister was running the in-home daycare at the time. She says Deani Griffin's mom took the 2-month-old upstairs to the apartment where they lived, then reappeared saying something was wrong with Deani.
I love kids and I would never harm anybody, kids, no type of way.
That's why she says she tried calling Deani's mom when her sister noticed the little girl was breathing, in her words, fast. Townsend said that call went to voicemail. Did you ever tell your sister call 911, try to get the baby some sort of help?
I never told her to call 911.
Why not?
I mean, I could have. She could have called. She wanted the mother's number. I called the mother myself.
Townsend also insists both she and her sister know CPR. 5 on Your Side investigators first reported last night state inspectors cited Nana's home daycare in November and then again earlier this month, saying the provider and her substitute were not CPR certified.
Our CPR have to be renewed, and we know what to do.
So why didn't it get done?
We have to do ours this month.
There are also questions about how many kids were at the daycare when Deani began having trouble breathing.
When Deani was in there, the total was still 7. She makes the 7 right there.
When we pointed out Townsend is only licensed for up to 6 children,
I was not supposed to watch Deani. I did that young lady a favor. That's all I did.